Hi, and welcome to this beautiful full moon feminine frequency forecast for visionaries, wayshowers, creatives, leaders, healers of the new paradigm. My name's Tara Preston. I'm the founder of the Akashic Women's School. I am a master level healer, transformational guide, and channel. And I am here to support the wayshowers, the new paradigm leaders who are here to usher in this new time of awakening on the planet. So I want to drop in with the Akashic records into the Akashic field and bring through a transmission to heal, to inspire, to awaken the next evolution of your path, of your journey, of your awakening as someone who's being called to anchor in the unique frequency of who you are and the work that you're here to do at this time. So if you want to join me, I'm going to go ahead and just very briefly take a moment to center in. I'm already in the Akashic records, in the Akashic field. I'm using very specifically the Flower of Life Akashic healing method that I've created, and I am going to share that here with you today. So you can go ahead and just start to close your eyes and drop your chin if that feels good to you, bringing your presence to your heart, to your womb, feeling the essence, the energy of the shakti start to emerge from the womb space as a beautiful golden nectar light. And we're going to go ahead and let that light swish and swirl, bringing it down through the core of the body, down to the core of Mother Earth, where we're going to drop that in and let it grow deep roots into the core of Mother Earth. Just taking a moment to tap into that Gaian wisdom, to her power, to her sacred roots, and letting yourself start to drop in and feel really held by her presence, by her power, by the healing nature that she is. I'm going to call down the temples of protection, of light, of truth. I'm going to ask that this be a beautiful protected space. Bringing your focus to the heart now, taking a breath in there, we're going to go ahead and see a beautiful magenta rose bloom open. And from there, we're going to allow the golden grid of the flower of life to begin to bloom, expand, and swirl out from the heart space located at the center of the chest. Just taking a moment to be with the heart, to let that pure wisdom and high frequency light, the radiant divine substance of all of creation that's interwoven into all of life, begin to permeate and infuse itself within us, out from us, and all around us into the Akashic field. We're going to let that light continue to grow, expand, and interpermeate with the physical and non-physical reality that exists before us, all around us, and within us. And we're going to continue to let that beautiful light, that radiant divine substance of all of life that flows through all things, continue to flower, flow, and expand from the heart chakra. Seeing, sensing, feeling now as the doors to the Akasha and all the light and love of the Akasha open to us now. So I'm just going to take a minute to tune in and to bring forward a message for the collective. So share below. I would love to hear how this message resonates with you. The first thing that I'm seeing is a rainbow that very often comes through when I'm talking about the collective and the wayshowers and the leaders and the creatives and the visionaries and the healers, right? The rainbow. And the rainbow can represent so many things. I find it definitely, often correlates to the awakening process. And even as I'm saying this, I'm seeing the rainbow really representing how the shakti wants to move through the fullness of our system, right? Where we step into the fullness of our creative power, right? Where we become really turned on and infused with the beauty of our divinity. And as that happens, it moves through it moves through the energetic system, right? Opening and clearing out the chakras, getting the energy moving very fully and very freely through the system so that we become very expanded, tapped in, tuned, turned on, and in our creative power as divine beings in this human experience. So I'm also seeing this this overarching, rainbow, and then I'm seeing a community of people all gathered around this rainbow. So that's really interesting too. And the message that's coming through is that now's not a time for us to isolate ourselves, right? It's this sense of community and finding community. We are obviously still coming a little bit off the back end or the tail end of COVID, but especially if you tend to dwell a little bit more in isolation, or you've got a little bit of the hermit archetype, or maybe you're in the online space like I am. Right now is a really important time to be able to find your community, a community, where we can connect, where we can come into a space of shared joy and connection. That's really important. So a lot of what the message is coming through is a lot of the sense of like restlessness, and sometimes internal chaos, and sometimes that little bit of that unsettled feeling. Just like I was saying, we often feel when we're moving through the full moon. Well, the message actually is that a lot of that can be dissipated when we come together in community, right? When we come together, when we connect, and when we can hear each other and witness each other and share with each other what's going on in a space of community, it dissipates a lot of that. And a lot of that also is being amplified from this sense of being disconnected from our community. So it can actually be alleviated by finding places. This is really coming in as a kind of like a big wave of an invitation, is to find those places and spaces that really allow us to connect into the energy. It's the same thing, but that I've been kind of saying, but the energy of joy, right? It's like the energy of joy, of connection, of creativity, of laughter, right? That feels really important right now, especially as we're moving through some of these dense energies. And it makes sense too, because we're talking specifically about the root chakra, right? And the root chakra is about family. It's about connection. It's about how we ground in that space of being connected to our individuality, but also in a space of community, right? So that we can really, in essence, enjoy also just the experience of our physicality here, but through interaction with people that we are having this beautiful shared, or potentially having this beautiful shared experience with. The other thing that's coming through, that just came through actually, at first I thought it was an eagle, and what I actually am seeing is the condor. And that's probably why I was guided to have my feather, but I actually also, I don't know much about the condor, but I'm going to go ahead, and I just got this wave of a very powerful divine feminine consciousness. So it's not a vibration or a frequency, but a consciousness that just kind of came into the field. And there is the condor, it's not an eagle, but it also kind of shapeshifts into the phoenix. So one of my signature programs that I've had for about 4 or 5 years now is called Feminine Phoenix Rising. And so here we are with the condor, but I'm getting a lot of like, oh, isn't that interesting? Yeah, there's an eagle flying in. I wish I could show you, but I know that it's definitely an eagle. He's just over the tree line, just floating. Beautiful. Yeah, so there's some medicine there too. So there's a couple different things kind of coming into my awareness that I want to share with you. And again, just seeing how it resonates. But I've got the phoenix, I've got the condor, I definitely have an eagle over here. So a lot of the very powerful birds of prey that often represent leadership. So the condor's coming in, and I'm feeling a lot of the energy from like Pachamama and Peru come in. And then the phoenix is also coming in. The phoenix is again speaking about this energy that wants to awaken and ripple through the energetic system as we step into the fullness of our creative power as divine beings having this human experience. You know, specifically in terms of the feminine energy, the womb, the yoni, and the feminine energy. You know, it's so funny, this morning I was writing in my journal, and one of the messages was, you know, feminine root work is the anchor for anchoring our unique frequency in the world. So there's a lot of times where we don't really necessarily want to descend into the sacral, and we don't want to descend into the root, and yet there's an invitation there. And we don't want to descend into the sacral or the root because these chakras are very connected to the physical experience, right? Of family, of intimacy, of our sexuality, and also very feeling dense wisdom centers. And so there is also an invitation to look at what's ready to be released, cleared, burnt away, so to speak, right? To create space in the cauldron of the sacral, right? For the emergence of the feminine creatrix energy. Right, which is an aspect of being empowered in our creatorship. So, and also, you know, another reason why we can tend to feel really discombobulated or pulled around or unsettled or not anchored or rooted at times where there's a lot of planetary shifts, because we don't have the foundation, right, that's keeping us rooted, that's keeping us anchored. And yet we have a lot of that, like family drama or family karma that tends to arise. And often that's so that we can heal and clear and move through that and come into this space of community in a way where we can be in deep, intimate partnership with ourselves, know who we are in our sovereignty, but also come into these spaces of community as well, where we can feel the freedom and the beauty and the love of being able to circulate the essence of who we are in these spaces of joy and community and collaboration and healing and connection. So I'm just bringing a few pieces forward, and there's a few pieces that haven't fully connected, but they will, and I'm going to continue to bring forward, in essence, what I'm seeing and feeling, and I think it's so beautiful. So we see the phoenix, and I see the condor, and I can see how they all have subtly different roles in what it is that I'm expressing. And again, the condor seems to be bringing in this like wave from like Pachamama from Peru of this big, beautiful, powerful, deep, feminine power, right? That we want to make space for. And that often our edge is around the feminine wisdom centers of the womb or the sacral or the root, right? Or the root chakra, or what I like to call the rose chakra, right? Or yoni, right? And so oftentimes we'll have layers of healing that wants to be moved through. So okay, so I'm going to move on now to the eagle that came through to say hello, that was circling over the treetops as I was starting to bring some of this in. And it's interesting because the phoenix is all about that, the awakening of the shakti from the root, but clearing away the old so that we can open up our energetic system and really step into our creative power. The condor is inviting that beautiful, bold, deep, earthy Pachamama feminine vibration or consciousness, right? We're making space for that. Now the eagle is bringing in a lot of, it's bringing in essence, looking at our lives from a different viewpoint, right? From a different viewpoint of being able to take a bird's eye view at what's currently happening in our experience. And again, as we're moving through all these planetary shifts, where we've got this big, beautiful, blue moon, there's, in essence, it is about taking a bird's eye view of our life, right? But not in a way where we're escaping from our lives or where we're becoming disembodied from ourselves either, but allowing ourselves to take a bird's eye view at sometimes the patterns and maybe the drama and some of the challenges that might be going on, but not from a place of escapism. That seems to be really important. And also, the eagle, asks us to step into our creative leadership, to step into our leadership as creative visionaries, right? As new paradigm leaders, as healers, right? If we have a vision for our lives, if we have a vision for our sacred work in the world, right? This is also about being able to start to examine the layers of challenges and maybe patterns and sometimes chaos, right, that might be showing up, but from a very, grounded place of being able to examine what is showing up, and not from a way of what is happening to us, but in a way of what am I wanting to create for my life, and what is showing up that is in disharmony with that, right? And then where can we start to disengage from that by sometimes, yes, moving through some of these layers of healing, and also by starting to take power over our lives by stepping into who we are as conscious creators and leadership. So the eagle starts to bring in almost a little bit more too of, I feel like, a higher masculine aspect of starting to bring in a little bit of like the higher vision, but from a much more grounded place. And then also from that place of discernment and commitment and leading our lives forward from that place. So there's lots coming through around creative power, around leadership, and around dissolving the old and healing the old. And I want to continue on and bring this transmission through in a grounded way, because we touched on a few different pieces, and sometimes as I'm bringing things like this through, I tend to move in a circular way. So I'm going to go ahead and tune in and look at how to ground this all for you who's listening, and continue to share with me if parts of it are resonating or all of it's resonating. That would be so wonderful. Yeah, there's a message coming through, and that's why the condor came through, brought that wave again of that deep, the deep feminine, the deep feminine, and there's actually like a lot of the vibration of love within that too. And then partnering that with the eagle, with the masculine aspect, and how that gets to harmonize within us to move our lives forward, so that at the same time we're really starting to untangle a lot of some of these the disharmony, the feelings of being unsettled, the relationship challenges or the life challenges, starting to disentangle ourselves from that, which the Akashic records are really, really powerful for that, but also never taking away from the power that we have to create life on our terms. But then coming into this beautiful this beautiful place of identifying where those challenges may exist. And here's the piece that keeps wanting to come through, without letting it take you out, without getting lost in the drama, without getting lost in the challenges. That can happen, right? We can get really bumped around by life as we walk this evolutionary path. And we want to have compassion for ourselves, absolutely. We want to acknowledge and feel and move through and work through what it is that is surfacing for us. And then we want to move our lives forward in the direction of the vision that we are being called as way showers, as leaders, as guides, as healers for the new paradigm. And we have a lot of creative power in that space. When we focus our energy and our vision towards where we want to go and what we want to create for our lives and who we are becoming, we use our creative fuel, our creative power, and place it on some place that's going to take us higher, right? Some place that's actually going to move the trajectory of our life forward in a way that is nourishing, in a way that has a lot of energy and momentum. But we can often get, really stuck by what's showing up around us. And what's showing up around you is valuable, and it's offering feedback, but a feedback in terms of, this no longer serves me, right? How can I maybe feel, release, clear? And again, community is that invitation too. There's something so powerful about being in a space of community and sharing who we are and allowing ourselves to be witnessed with what it is that we're moving through, while also connecting into the higher vision for you personally, or maybe for the community. So I'm just going to take a moment and land this and tune into any final pieces. So there's, again, it's coming back to this space of, yes, we want to look at what it is that's showing up for us in our lives. We do want to feel and heal and untangle so that we can really come into this space of our creative power. I was talking about the rainbow. That's important. But so is being able to identify our patterns, our challenges, right? The disharmony, without getting stuck in it, using it though to untangle and clear so that we can drop more fully into the power of who we are, right? And as we do that, our divinity literally starts to land more fully through the vessel that we were born into, and we amplify our creative power. And then the last message that's coming through also is, especially again when we're navigating a lot of these astrological shifts, and there's just a lot of like bumps and waves in the collective. It's like, we can get stuck in those feelings of isolation or feeling unsettled. And I've given you a few different ways to start to look at navigating that. But there's also the element of fun and play, right? It can bring up a lot, again, particularly around like family dynamics, relationship challenges, sometimes, money stuff. But there's a lot that needs to clear. Again, as I'm talking about some of these lower energy centers, it often relates to family lineage and family wounding. Can be highlighted a lot during times like this. And that's okay because we're anchoring into this new paradigm of sovereignty. And a part of really claiming that for ourselves is the full permission to do that work, and to find spaces that allow us and hold us as we do that work, but also to nurture the inner child. And we often forget that when we're feeling kind of yucky or there's stuff stirring or coming up, to weave in the elements. And this goes along again with like community and some of the first pieces that came through, but to have fun. And I'm actually seeing like a child on a bike, and they are driving the bike. I don't recommend this, but they're driving the bike in a very silly way. And they've got their like feet up, and they've got their like, the wind is like blowing through their hair. And it's very full of this sense of wonder and surrender, right? And there's just something so nourishing about that when we can create space in our lives when we sometimes are pushing up against all the yuckiness that times like this can start to bring up for us as a part of the collective healing and a part of the personal healing, as we start to really do this journey of becoming fully awakened, right? This fully awakened, the rainbow through the channels of our body, where we're healthy, alive, vital, our creative life force energy is flowing freely, and we're really in a beautiful place of emotional freedom and being able to create life on our terms, because we understand our capacity to do that. So I'm going to leave this message here with you there. And the last and final thing that I'm seeing is the ocean. And actually, it's not even an ocean. It's like a body of water, like a lake. And the water is very calm. And so we'll just end this off with maybe a little bit of a meditation, but you can go ahead and just see yourself sitting at the edge of this lake. Maybe you want to see like your bare toes in the water. The water is very calm. The water is very calm, and you just allowing yourself to feel very held, feeling kind of like the damp sand under your feet. There's a peace in the air. There's a peace in the air. The leaves on the trees are barely moving. It's so soft, right? And you can lean down and you scoop some water up in your hand and you let the water just trickle back into the lake. And there's this beautiful sense of safety and ease, right? Where it just feels so safe to just relax into the present moment. So taking a breath in through the nose, down into the energetic womb space, up and out through the mouth. And we'll do that breath 2 more times, bringing it to the count of 3. I'm going to thank the guides, guardians, masters, angels, teachers who have been a part of this experience today. And I'm also going to invite you to check out the Akashic Women's Guide certification. This is a beautiful pathway that is both a professional pathway and a personal pathway. And it certifies you to, in a very masterful way, guide those that are being called to step into their own new paradigm feminine leadership, their own soulful evolution, to guide them through embodied soul level transformation. So it's a 6-month pathway. And it's within that is woven in the women's mysteries, soul level teaching. We talk about unity consciousness, sacred program creation, everything you need to anchor the unique frequency of your own new paradigm leadership, and everything you'll need to be able to facilitate that work on behalf of others. All right, so we're going to know that the clearing, healing, intentions, activations are going to unfold into completion, and the door between the worlds is now closed. Bye for now.